Hi, Ashley here with hearthookhome.com, and today we are going to learn how to crochet these adorable little flowers. These flowers start at the center. You can see my little hole here in the center where I started, and they work their way out, so you can continue growing them as large as you like if you choose to do so. You can see that I have done that with the green one here. Looks like a little artichoke or maybe a Brussels sprout, I don't know, but it's super cute, and it's actually easier than it looks. You do have to pay attention to where you're inserting your hook on the back end. Literally, we start at the center, we just keep making it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until we are completely finished. For this pattern, I did whip this up to use as a car vent clip. We put a little bobby pin in the middle, stick it on your car vent clip. You can put some essential oils on there so that your car smells nice. Yeah, so let's learn how to whip up these cute little flowers today. For these flowers, you can use virtually any yarn. This is a cotton yarn that I have on hand. Doesn't really matter. The larger your yarn, so if you use a bulky weight or a jumbo weight yarn, the bigger your flower will be. We're going to start with a magic circle. I do have a dedicated tutorial for the magic circle on my YouTube channel as well. All right. There is the magic circle. We are ready to start working. I'm not going to chain or anything else. I am going to do 3 single crochets around or into the circle. And this very first petal that you make on your flower is going to look, or it's going to be made a little bit differently than the subsequent petals. They're going to always lay behind the one in front of it. So we've got our 3 single crochets. Now we are going to chain 3. We're going to turn so that we're looking at the back side of the single crochets that we just made. Find the first one that you made over here on the left, and we're just going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. Awesome. So now we've got this little chain space here, and that's what we're going to crochet around to make the petals. So chain 1 and turn back. Now we're going to do 5 half double crochets into this chain space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's our 5 half double crochets. That is our first petal made. Isn't that adorable? I love it so much. So now we are going to make our next petal. And like I said, all of the petals after the first one are going to be made in a similar fashion. So now we are going to place 3 more single crochets into the loop here. 1, 2, and 3. Now that we've got those 3 single crochets, we are going to chain 3 and turn. Now we are going to slip stitch. Instead of slip stitching into the first single crochet I made, I'm going to slip stitch around the post of the flower right here, so that by slip stitching here, it helps your petal that you're making, that you're getting ready to make, lay behind this one, and it just gives much more authentic rose looking petals, right? So slip stitch to that post there, and now we're going to chain 1 and turn it back around so that we can actually crochet the petals onto it. So here's this chain space that we just made. We're going to do 5 half double crochets around that chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. So you can see that this petal is now directly behind this petal. So now we're going to do what we just did 2 more times so that we have 4 half double crochet petals on the inside of our flower. So single crochet 3 times into the circle. Throw your yarn. There we go. So we've got our 3 single crochets. We're going to chain 3, turn, slip stitch around the post of the last petal right here, slip stitch, chain 1, turn it back around so that you can do your 5 half double crochets around that chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Now we're going to do one more half double crochet petal before we move on to the second row. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, turn, slip stitch here, chain 1, turn it back around, and do your 5 half double crochets. Beautiful. So now I'm going to take my tail of my magic circle and I'm just going to pull it tight. I'm not going to weave in my ends quite yet. I will do that very soon though. So you can see that as we are looking at this flower, these petals, they are all coming from behind the one in front of it, which gives it such a realistic look. I absolutely love it. Now, we are going to continue making these petals and we're going to make them a little bit larger. As natural on, natural flowers, the smaller petals are on the inside and the larger petals are on the outside. So as we are growing our flower, we want to make the petals to be a little bit larger, right? So this second round of petals, we are going to find the single crochet in the center of the next petal. You see right here. I'm going to come in from behind, so I'm going to flip that petal down and I'm just going to do a single crochet in that single crochet from the previous round, right here. I'm going to do one single crochet. Perfect. Now I'm going to chain 3, turn, I'm going to slip stitch around the post of the previous petal, so right here, right? Slip stitch, chain 1, and turn it back to look at the right side of the petal. So now we've got this chain space here that we're going to do 7 double crochets. We did 5 half doubles on this. We're going to do 7 doubles into this one. And there we have our first double crochet petal. Now we're going to do that in each of these petals around, so you can see that this is the first single crochet that made the first double crochet petal. So now we need to go to the next petal and do the same. So you're always going to have the end of this petal come over here to behind the next one, right? So we're going to find that single crochet right in the center of that next petal right here. We're going to come from behind, so I'm going to push this petal down a little bit. I'm going to grab that single crochet and do a single crochet right in the back of it. So now that I've got that single crochet in there, chain 3, turn, slip stitch around the post, which these get easier to see. The farther you go, you can see that I'm going to go in this side and come out this side over here. So do our slip stitch, chain 1, turn it back, do your 7 double crochets around that chain space. Beautiful. So now we're ready for the third double crochet shell, or basically it's a shell, but a double crochet petal. So we've gone into the center of this petal here. So now we're going to find the next petal and we're going to do our single crochet in that right there. Go from behind that petal so that the petals are always behind the one in front of it. Chain 3, rotate, slip stitch, chain 1, rotate, 7 double crochets around that chain space. Beautiful. So that was our third double crochet made. That means we only have one double crochet left, and that is going to go behind the last half double crochet. Right here. Do my single crochet right in there. 1, 2, 3, rotate, slip stitch, chain 1, rotate, 7 double crochets. All right, so now we've got 4 of our half double crochet petals, which are the very innermost petals right here, and they will kind of do this. The farther we go along, they're going to kind of pull into each other. That's the beauty of it though, right? It looks very realistic. Now I'm going to do my treble crochet petals. In order to do that, and if you are going to continue to grow this flower, we'll do that here in a minute, but that you're going to want to continue to do the treble crochet petals all the way as big as you want it to go. You could do double treble if you want to, or quadruple treble, just the taller stitches. I've noticed though that the taller the stitches go, the wider the petals, the less integrity they have, and they kind of get super floppy. So I would keep it to the double crochet or the treble crochet like we are about to do. So now that we have run out of all of these single crochets behind the petals, we are going to go around the post of the next petal. So where we need to secure this one is around the post of this next one. We're going to single crochet around this post here of this next petal. So do a single crochet, do your chain 3, turn, slip stitch around the post of this petal right here to create your chain space that you'll work into for the first treble petal. Okay, so for the trebles, I'm going to chain 2 just to give me that little bit of a height needed. So now I'm going to wrap it twice, do my treble crochet 9 times. So we did 5 half double crochets, we did 7 double crochets, we're going to do 9 treble crochets. And there we go. Here is our first treble crochet petal. Isn't that beautiful? I do like to take a stitch marker and put the stitch marker in around the first petal because it can be hard to tell where the first one was if you're not careful. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark that so that I know that that is the first petal. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to single crochet around this post right here, right, to create the next one. So I don't want to do the whole thing, I just want to get half of it, almost like a back post single crochet, right? Or exactly like a back post single crochet. Okay, so we did that single crochet. We're going to chain 3, I'm going to turn it, and we're going to slip stitch around the post of that last petal made just to anchor it to make it come out from behind. Chain 2 and turn, and we're going to do our 9 treble crochets right around that chain space. And we're just going to continue this all the way around. So there's my 9 treble crochets. I'm going to find the next one, which is right here. And I'm going to single crochet a back post, single crochet around that petal. Chain 3, slip stitch, chain 2, 9 treble crochets. Here's my third treble crochet petal. We're just going to continue making these new ones. And as you can see, here it is. I'm going to go around this one with my back post single crochet. Chain 3, slip stitch around this one, chain 2, turn back, and do our 9 treble crochet around that chain space. Almost back around to the beginning, and then we will fasten off, and I'll talk more about making the flower a little bit larger if you so desire. Okay, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the treble crochet petals. And if you want to keep going, that is perfectly fine. You would just continue adding petals all the way around. You will notice though that if you continue to just do these 4 petals over and over and over and over again, or 5 as we've created the 5th one here, that your flower is going to morph and turn more like this because it doesn't have enough petals. And it would be very pretty if you were to cinch it up and to make it into a little sphere of a flower, like an actual flower. But if you want it to continue growing and growing and growing, you need to add the number of petals going around. As you can see here, I do not have just 4 petals on this last round, right? So you add them. When you go in to add new petals, you will either go into this, the center of the petal below it, or around this. Now what I've done in the past is every other row I have gone in and I've added 2 petals per one. So one here and one here, and one here and one here, and then one here and one here, one here and one here. And then on the next round I'll just do 1 solid row, and then on the next round I'll do 2 per petal, and then on the next round I'll do 1 solid row. So it helps to grow it without astronomically changing the aspect of the rose itself, or the flower itself. So now that we have completed our 5th treble crochet petal, we are going to clip our yarn. And I know that that's my 5th because I marked the first one. Very important, it helps a lot. I'm going to go ahead and pull my yarn straight through, and I'm going to thread my yarn needle. I'm going to go to the back. I'm going to pull it over here, and I'm going to sew it to this petal right here. So we're still using that same kind of all the way over, right? Because you want the end of this petal to cinch up to the end of that one, just like this. Now I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back and forth a couple times, and then I'm going to weave in all of my ends, and I will be finished with my adorable little flower. Isn't that fun? I hope you love this one. I put a bobby pin through the center of mine and stuck it on my car vent with some essential oils because it's just so nice and lovely. So you can continue to grow your flower as large as you like it to be, and keep going. Make a pillow out of it. Make something super fun, a nice applique for a bag or anything like that. I hope you enjoyed crocheting this flower with me today, and I look forward to crocheting more with you soon. Thanks for watching.